Everyday chat and chart live during the New York session. Here, real traders share the raw truth, their mindset, technical analysis, and execution. This is where real traders show their skill set. Welcome to Tradin TV. This is your stage to shine.
Hello. How is everyone doing? Hey, Rosa.
Hello. Hi.
Hey,
How are you?
Kashif. How are you
Hi,
guys?
KIMMEL.
How are you guys doing? Doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How about you, Kashif? Are you ready?
You are muted, I think.
Yes,
Kashif.
you are muted.
Oh, hi. How are you, KIMMEL? Hi, Rosa. How are you?
Hi.
So, everyone in the chat, hello for the first New York stream of the week. So, I always like to ask this in the beginning. Has anyone in the chat already entered in any trades? It's Monday. It's the first New York session. Have you entered in any trades? For people that were here on Friday, funnily enough, I did 2 live streams in a row right now because I did also on Friday. And hey, everything that we mentioned did indeed happen. Ended up taking advantage of a long. We'll break it down. And yeah, let's see if anyone in the chat has entered in any trades. Rosa, what about you? Have you entered in any trades so far?
Okay, don't laugh at me because I'm going to say something. If someone was watching Wednesday's live stream, I was in this live stream, and I had a sell. I never sell on gold, and I've been trying selling gold for the run up. So I had 2 stop losses hit last week, and I am into another sell. Don't ask me why. I'm just trying to get out of my comfort zone, as I mentioned before. I think it's been a little bit stupid what I'm doing. That's on the funding pips spectrum accounts. I'm shorting gold, but I've been buying gold all over this morning on my personal account. Very short profits, but it's been quite profitable. So let's see if I can find some good buyers for buying gold here on the live stream.
Okay, hell yeah. What about you, Kashif?
I'm in a gold sales right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not the
It's
only
gonna
one
be an
then.
interesting stream, I see.
Yeah. The reason is simple. Like a price action took out London highs at 3646.
Do you want to share your chart?
Yep.
Let's see. Yes, 2 buys this morning on gold. Just got another stop loss. Yes, gold 2 buys. Don't spam in the chat, by the way. Entered
Can
in
you
blue 100K account.
see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So this is my cells. I think Rosa, you were in cells too. This one was pretty simple trade. I was looking for price action to take out this London highs. And the reason behind this trade is not just London highs. I was also looking at this daily level because since Asian session today, price action wasn't able to hold bullish above the daily flip. Even the 4-hour candle failed multiple times to close above 3645. So based on this, when price action pushed up and took out these equal highs or London session highs, we had this dodgy candle closure right here, and then a big drop. Price pulled back up, kind of like retapped into this fair value gap right here. So that's the point I went into sells, and I'm looking for the price action to take out these lows, recent lows right here on the 1 minute time frame. My stop loss is already at break even. It's a new challenge. I wanted to take this on my funded account, but my payout is tomorrow, so I didn't have the guts to execute on the funded. But I said, yeah, let's take it on a new challenge.
Yeah, yeah. How much did you risk on the account?
So technically, if I look at my stop loss, it was above these highs. So that's kind of like 23 pips of a stop loss, and my lot size is 2. So it's 0.5% risk on this position.
Yeah. Is
But
that how much you normally risk on a challenge?
not really. On challenges, I risk 1 to 2%, but when I start a fresh challenge, like I go in conservative, like I try to create a buffer before
Mm-hmm.
use that, because psychologically when you go in a drawdown, when you start a challenge, it becomes very difficult. So I just try
Yeah.
to risk less, 0.5%, 0.3%, create a buffer, let's say
Yeah.
$1,000, $2,000 above the initial balance. And once I have the buffer, I increase my risk to 1%, 2%. So even if I lose, like I'm still at the initial deposit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What about you, Rosa? How do you approach challenges or even personal account?
Well, personal account, it's been years for me to build up the account I have so far, and this is my main source of income. So I'm very conservative on my personal account, not risking more than 1% per trade or trade idea. So roughly 1.5% tops. Um, on the challenges, I am quite aggressive though. If phase one or phase two, I usually risk as much as I can. Let's say 3-4% on every single trade. That's my maximum risk. It doesn't mean I'm not going to close the trade sooner, but maximum risk 3-4%, and I'm aiming for as well 2-3% on my TP side. Once I'm funded, I then switch to conservative mode again, and it's only 1%.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put some charts up either way so we can continue seeing how gold is doing and etc. But yeah, I think that
Fantastic.
that is a very good way to do it normally. It's like risking a little bit more, understanding the game itself, and I that's basically what you're doing, and I think that that is very very good. So Kashif, is that, if I'm not mistaken, is like this, right? Something like
Yeah, yeah, because yes, exactly.
that. Okay. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it here so just so people have something to
Hmm.
see that is happening. Um, but yeah, overall, for myself, um, understanding how prop firms work and how we can take advantage of them, where one, we're not cheating, we're just taking advantage of them, of the numbers, and understanding that the way we trade props and personal account is very very different. I think that that is very valuable, and I like to see Rosa having both sides, where you have personal and you have funded, because those are completely different beasts. And it's funny because when I started trading, I always wanted investor capital. And then when I found out the headache of investor capital, I was like, nah, this is not happening. Like, especially with prop firms now, you don't need investor capital. So like, might as well do props and then move all that money into a personal account. But yeah, do you also do personal account, Kashif?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you trade both at the same time?
No, not really, because the psychology is very different. So sometimes when I'm not sure about a trade setup, that's when I take that trade on my personal account, because my approach is on the personal account, like I don't have like a big deposit, like I deposit a small amount, let's say like $50, $100, $200. And if there's a low probability setup, like I try to flip on that live account. So even if it's lost, I'm losing a less money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And what makes you, is there any point in which you see like a very high probability setup and you're like, you know what? I'm going to enter this on both on the funded account and on the personal.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
been instances like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's like maximizing the good setups for sure.
Yeah,
Because some, if it was just the ones that you're not confident in, it would be fucking horrible. Because it's like the ones that you're least confident in, you're like, you know what? I'll take this on my personal. But yeah, that's very good. I like that. What about everyone in the chat? Does anyone in the chat also trade personal account, or do you only do prop firms? Now bring it back to Rosa. How do you approach picking between if you're going to do personal or if you're going to do funded / challenge?
I don't trade different. What I do different is the risk management and the stop loss distance. But my personal account is very big. It's a big one, so I live off that. So first thing in the morning, I usually trade DAX on my personal account because it's when I feel better and more focused and more relaxed. But then every single opportunity I see on gold, I replicate the trade on both sides. So same trade idea, different risk management, and this is my approach. Now, for instance, that we are on the live stream, it's very rare that I take a trade on my personal account because I'm just stalking, watching. Things work different, so I'm not 100% focused on the job. So I rather trade here with you on the MT5 funding pips account and just leave my personal account unless I see like a super nice setup, a very high probability setup. Then I replicate the trade. I have a copy trader, a local, personal local copy trader,
Oh yeah.
and then I turn it on and then I replicate with different risk and things like that. But the trade ideas to me are the same. The business is different. It's two different businesses, and the difference between these two businesses to me is the risk approach.
Yeah.
So you don't risk your total capital in prop firms. So if you've paid $500 for a 100K account, the max you can lose is 500K.
Yeah.
If I have my 100K account, personal account, and I risk it all, I can lose 100K dollars, well, euros in my case. So there's quite a difference. So that's the difference between businesses, but not the trade
Yeah.
ideas. If it's good, it's
Yeah.
good on both sides.
Yeah. I say that a lot with people that I find it crazy. I find it so crazy. And I know that both of you are going to agree with me how people think that personal is better than prop firm when you lose a 100K account on funding pips, for example. You lost what? The sign up fee, which is, let's say, $500. If you lose the $10,000 that you technically lost on the funding pips account, and you do that on the personal, you just lost $10,000. You literally lost 20 times more than what you did on the funding pips account. But let's be devil's advocate, and people say, well, what if instead of risking the $10,000, we put $10,000 on the personal account? Well, still, then you have way more buying power on the funding pips, because are you going to be risking 10% per trade on your personal account? Probably not. So therefore, you're still better off with the prop firm. I find it so wild how there's people that seriously believe that personal is better than prop firm. It's wild. Like, it's different. It's different.
Yeah, it's different. I understand what you say, and I would say it's not better, it's different. But I get
Yeah.
the point when people say it's better to trade your personal account because there's no restrictions. So let's assume, I don't know, it's a new news coming up, and I don't realize. I won't get disqualified on my personal account, and I can lose my prop firm account, or it's, I don't know, 5% daily stop loss, daily loss, and I'm assuming that risk because sometimes I assume that risk on an overall idea. So let's say I'm just trading NASDAQ, gold, and DAX at the same different times, but the same day. There's moments when I'm risking around 5% or even 6% of my account. I'm very comfortable with that because it's different trade ideas. I couldn't do so.
Yeah.
And also, there's some runners, once in a while, you have a runner up and it's like 20 times. And 20 times the amount of money I risk on my personal account, you are never sure you are going to be paid that amount on a prop firm account. And I'm
Yeah.
not talking just about funding pips, of course, no, and any prop account, because that's a disaster for the company. Just to be, I mean, that's
Yeah.
true. So
I'll say this though.
I I
I'll
never
say this.
know if I'm gonna get paid at the end of the month.
I will say this. People say that, oh, prop firms are the devil because they trade against you or they don't take your trades. Brokers are not putting our trades. I can guarantee you
Oh,
that
that's for
brokers
sure. Yeah.
are not a-booking us. Brokers do not a-book retail traders. Point blank.
No.
Why? Because 95% of them lose. So they will never a-book anyone. Like, I've talked with a lot of broker people and they're like, nah, we don't a-book anyone. Like, there's some people, let's say someone deposits $1 million with us, then
Mm.
sure, we're going to a-book just because the risk is way too high. We just leave them there. This is literally what they told me. If someone deposits way too much where it becomes a risk for the broker, it's not like they don't make a lot of money. It's like if they multiply the account by 5, now they're 4 million in the hole or 5 million in the hole. So those people, they will a-book. And it's one out of 100,000 people.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you totally. And
yeah.
I know because I've been doing IT projects on the Colo. It's the London Stock Exchange, the closest part to the stock exchange, where all the massive servers are stored there. It's called Colo, and I've been there, and I've been working with banks, and I know uh, even if they have the ability or the technology to put you through in the real market, they don't do it because that's very it's not cost effective for them.
Yeah.
So unless you're proving regularly that you are a profitable trader, you are not put on the A side. That's for sure. I agree with you. And they charge you with commissions, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So the business on a broker, even if it's a fantastic and amazing broker, it's the commissions and the spread and things like that. So it's not putting you on the other side. And just a few, when you are really consistent and you have a very big account, then you can make sure you are put on the A side. And in one of the 7 boxes, if you trade with MT4 or MT5, there's 7 boxes, and it's like surprises boxes. And then you are put on the last one, the 7th, which is the real market. So they don't take your opposite trade. They don't do the market make it thing, and they do that even if they have the technology to put you
Yeah.
through real market, but it's very expensive for
Yeah.
them. It's very expensive. People don't know how much expensive it is. At
Yeah.
least that's what I know from working for banks on IT projects and leading projects, trading projects. So yeah,
Yeah. And
I
it's the
agree
thing.
100% to you.
Let me say one thing. If I had to blindly, I don't know this trader, but someone tells me, hey, this trader has just deposited $1,000 into this broker. Do you want to A book this person or B book this person? If he doubles his account, well, if he makes money, you have to pay him out. If he loses all the $1,000, it's yours. I would not put it. I would not A book him blindly.
No,
Obviously, if it's someone that I know and I know their history and so on, that's different. But
I
I would
wouldn't.
never, with all due respect to every single trader, I would not, and I would also not well, for me it's a little bit different, but I would simply anyone. Let's ask the chat. Rosa, let's start with Rosa. Would you blindly? You have no idea, just random trader like that. Rosa, this guy just deposited $1,000. If he loses everything, A book or B book?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Unless I see someone depositing 100,000 euros, and still I wouldn't book him or her. I
Yeah.
wouldn't. It cost me a lot because, as you probably, I mean, you can assume, I have many brokers on my screen just to check, and I also have the futures, so I can double check what price is in every single broker. And it cost me nearly 3 years for them to put me on the real market, and I
Yeah.
had to show them I was real consistent and to grow up my personal account to nearly, well, over 100,000 euros. And then at the broker I'm using, for some reason, I have different prices, to some, if I compare them to some other colleagues, and so I don't know.
Yeah. Kashif,
So
random trader. Random. You have no idea who this person is. Just deposit $1,000. Would you or would you not?
No, I wouldn't a book because I have had experiences being a co-founder in a prop firm, and we tried a booking randomly. Like, you can never predict a trader because trading is unpredictable. Even though you might have a trader who shows a good data like for a 1 month, but one snap goes in his mind and he starts to gamble. So there's a lot of stake on the
Yeah.
line. Trading itself, like keeping the traders on the B book side, is way more profitable because over the long run, 95% of them they're gonna lose no matter what.
Yeah.
There's only a fraction of like 3-5% of traders that makes money. But honestly speaking, only 1% or even less than 1% people consistently make money out of trading.
Yeah. So now I want to ask this to the chat. Let's do like this. Random trader, you guys don't even know who that is. Maybe you do. Maybe it's your brother. Who knows? Random. But you have no information on the person. You won't know their name even. And you know that they've deposited $1,000 into a broker. Would you take their trades or not? Yes or no? I would love to know that in the chat, because that will prove once again that in trading everything is the same, since everything is zero sum. But yeah, what we can see from the chat, Kashif has absolutely crushed it. Have you closed the trade or still running?
Yeah, I closed the trade. I
Oh yeah.
actually added more positions
God damn.
when this took out the liquidity below the one you marked,
Hell yeah.
and it pulled back up, made a lower high. At that lower high, you see this dodgy bearish dodgy candle
Yeah. This
before
one.
the drop. That's where I added more positions, and right at the bottom, like, I just secured. So
Hell yeah.
well, I'm up like 1.5% on the new challenge. So this is
Hell
good.
yeah.
This is I want my challenges to be when I start them.
Yes, sir. That is good. That is good. All done. You guys saw the whole we saw it from we started live streaming here
Three six
and
four three.
we shared here. So there you
Yeah.
go. That is great. So let's see everyone's answer. We have true. Yes, you would, Rabit. Oh my god, that is wild. No, 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 no. Vantage Market does. No, they don't. Harshad, no. BS discussion, no value for the chat. That you can leave whenever you want, my friend. No. I'd have to check the trade. No, you don't. That's the thing. You don't check anything. I wouldn't. And it's funny that we have people like this Mr. Abbey guy saying that there's this no value. Listen, we're literally explaining. We are literally explaining how the basis of trading, of how the business of trading makes money off of you. And you're like, yeah, this is fucking stupid. First, share the trade. Kashif shared the trade and won. 2. No, this is no value. Bro, just leave. What the fuck? No, Vantage does not a book. Yeah, you have both, like, but you're likely be booked. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Listen. I've been on social media for 6 years. I can't stand the whole oh, this is no value, especially when they're deliberately watching. So
Yeah.
past 3 fund accounts, but blew it with 0 payouts, and from personal 5K blew it. I don't know what the fuck is on my mind. I don't think, yeah, like it's a lack of discipline, to be honest. I love to hear that Rosa built up her account for a long time. I would love to know a little bit more on that. Like, how did you? Because I want you to notice how long it takes. So, if you can tell us how it went from when you decided that you were going to start into now growing the account, because you didn't start with the balance you have now. Because some
Yeah.
people would probably be like, "Oh, I don't have enough capital." It's like with
Yeah.
what we don't need capital. We need more. Well, we need more time than we do capital. Obviously,
Yeah.
capital is important, but still, you have this.
No, but it is not actually, because money is something you can get from any job. Any job.
Yeah.
So just get out, find a job, any job, and save some part. Some money you have to save it for whatever. Some for trading, some for living, and then you spend the rest. And you have to accommodate your life to the money you are earning. So when I started with 500 euros, pounds in that moment. I was living in the UK. 500 pounds, and blew them in 3 days. Another account, and another account, and then 100 pounds. Another account blew. I blew up many accounts, very very small account. Why? Because I wasn't enjoying the process. I was after the end result, the money. And you can be a number one cook or surgeon if you don't enjoy the 1,000 hours, a million hours you have to spend learning, the 1,000 years you have to study, the ups and downs you're going to have. And you're not going to be a 3 star Michelin restaurant if you don't cook properly. So the moment I understand the money is the result of my actions. So it's a direct connection between how much do I know and how do I see how much do I know. So if you think you know a lot and you are not profitable, I'm sorry to say you that, but you suck. That's Look at the mirror, but you suck. You're not good at anything. I'm not talking just about trading, about anything in general. So it was a turning point after 6, 7 months, kind of 9 months, I don't know, where I understood I had to stop thinking about the end result and play game by game by game. So one game at a time, and just correct the errors of that game and just keep going. So then I remembered when I took a cooking class. I hate cooking, and I don't know how to do an omelette, for instance, and it's pretty obvious and very easy, but I don't like it. So, and I had to learn. It was a disaster. So it's easy to make an omelette, so it was a disaster to me. And then I understood, okay, what's the mystery on doing an omelette? Come on, it's just an egg. You just need one egg and one pan and some oil to make an omelette. You don't know how to do it because you have to practice it as many times as you need. So the moment I switched that concept, then I put 2,000 euros on my account, and I disabled the amounts. So I didn't and I'm still doing it like that. So I don't see money, I see percentages. So, and then started trade by trade, day by day, trade by trade, slowly, very slowly, understanding what I was doing. And something I started doing is journaling. I used to journal, and I still do it. I journal absolutely everything, every single day. I spend more time on the administrative tasks of being a professional trader than trading itself. So at that moment, everything started going fantastically. And I didn't double my account or anything, but then part of my savings were to this live account. And since I was trading based on percentages, 1%, 1.5, 0.75 in the beginning, I didn't pay attention to how much money is that. So it's 1% of the account. So I know if I have 2,000 euros, it's I mean, it's 20 euros, that's fine. But what about when it was 3,000? So you lose track. You lose track of how much money you have on the account, and then you start doing things properly. And it was a turnover. And then I injected capital on my personal account month by month and then I'm here. So now I ask for a withdrawal at the end of the month. And then I start over more or less with the same capital. And that's a path. Very difficult and very hard and very solitary path.
Yeah.
And because it's not. There was a moment where I lost on a single day around 9,000 euros, and that's not 500. That's costing a prop firm account. That's 9,000 euros out of your savings. So you put hard work just to save that, and then you lose it because of a bad decision of yours. So things like that don't kill you, but make you stronger, right? Make you strong and secure and reliable on what are you going to do next. And that was my path. Just putting some savings once I understood how things. That's a business. Trading is a business as any other. So you don't drink the alcohol on your own business, on your own restaurant. So you leave the
Yeah.
alcohol for someone else, right?
Yeah.
So same thing.
Yeah. So you can see like this is something that one doesn't come without hardships, because probably someone would look at that and yeah, I probably just had a good streak. God damn no. Everyone
Yeah.
like this is the thing. Like everyone that right now, I've seen people in the chat saying they've blown the account and blah blah blah, and it's like I just want you to know that everyone literally goes through that. Like even I think it was last month or 2 months ago, I also had a losing streak, and like yeah, I also blew one or two accounts. So
Yeah.
it's normal. Obviously, it wasn't a personal account, but it's part of the growth. And one thing that I noticed that Rosa said is that yes, she failed along the way, but what did she do? She also learned. So like I've made so many mistakes just this year. I've made so many mistakes already, but I look back, me and my team, and we're like, well, yeah, it's hard, but we just learned from it, and now we're just growing. So that's really the beauty. Um, Kashif, what about you? What was there a point where you were like, I can't believe that this happened? Where maybe you almost went back to the beginning of everything, of either money, like losing a good amount, where you're like, fuck, and then you just had to rebuild.
My biggest problem that I faced, like in prop firm challenges, is trying to make it in one day. That's the biggest problem I faced. I'm still working on that because, just an example, like if I made 2% on this trade, there would be emotions and urge to finish off the challenge like in the next trade on the same day. So over time, I've realized like market is all probability, and once you catch a big move, you cannot like get into another trade with low probability, because what you made, like you have to conserve it, like save it for the next high probability trade. And over the time, like I started to adopt like it's one setup at a time. if you are in a setup and you hit the TP, no matter what's happening, like at least give like 1-2 hours to the price section for your next setup, because maybe the setup would be right if you're getting into a second setup, but emotionally, like you are not in a position to get in a trade. So I think like uh, the biggest problem was to have a balance between emotions and having confidence on on my trade setups.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that that's what a lot of people go through here, is that a lot of people's issues come from not having confidence in what they're executing on. That's literally the biggest issue that so many people face. So it's and it comes with time. Like you're not gonna you wouldn't trust yourself on a, I don't know.
It's not going to come by watching videos, and it's you have to go through the pain, like you
Yeah.
have to endure the pain, fuck over like over again and again and again, and then you find out, hey, this is the losing pattern, this is the problem I have to avoid. Because trading for everyone, like I always say, like every strategy works, it's all simple price section. The thing like that we all have to master is the psychology, because trading, a profitable trading is a sweet spot, like it's a balance between your emotions, confidence, and your strategy. If you are not having a balance in any of these factors, then things go south.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like for people that have gotten their driver's license here, is the first time you went onto the car, no matter how much you read about driving a car, you probably weren't confident doing it. And then and now probably you don't even think about it when you get into the car. Like literally it just happens. It's second nature. And the same thing comes with trading, but it also requires time. So yeah. And one of the things I do want to point out, Kashif, is like here on gold, I've said this for the last, I don't know for how long I've been streaming for trading, but because of this range on gold, like we were talking about it on this range, I mentioned the breakout here. But like this becomes a take profit market. I call that a take profit market, meaning a lot of people, they see this and they get cocky and they're like, no, it's going to go even lower, and no, it's going to go even lower, and no, it's going to go even lower, and no, maybe it's this the time that it's going to absolutely crash and going to go down to $2,000. And they forget that, oh wait, I haven't locked in any profits. And then the market starts pulling back, and now like we're going for the high. um and people are just holding their trade now back to break even. So on range bound markets, people have to learn to trade range bound markets in terms of know when to take profits. Like over the last, I want to talk about the trade that I took on NQ 30 minutes after the stream on Tradin, because I basically was talking about the market moving higher on NQ, going to all-time high. I took a 2R on Friday, and I said this on my Discord. It's a take profit market unless we're at all-time high. Like gold is not at all-time high, but look at when it was at all-time high. Here, this is not a take profit market. Well, this is not all-time high, I think. Yeah, this is all-time high, but this is not a take profit market once we break out. But then once you're inside of a range, then you have to learn to take profits, else these sort of reversals will happen, and you're going to take the break even. I don't know if that is something that you've had to adapt to or not, Kashif. What made you take the profits at the bottom?
Look, like I've lost a lot of money like doing this. Like the moment it dropped 3637, I know like with traders there's a urge, there's an intuition like it's gonna drop more. But uh the secret sauce, like I adopted myself to this, like you have to be adaptive of the price section. Like for example, uh let's say this whole drop like to the down like 3637, if you would be watching, I like asked the chat, like if you would be watching this on a weekly time frame, would you take a sell or would you book your profits at the lows? So it's not about the time frames, like you have to go in the flow with the order flow. right? From the 1 minute, it dropped out to 3637, and you see like it's the bottom level, and the price now on the 1 minute time frame, it's in the discounted zone. You shouldn't be selling, or if you're in a sell trade, you should be booking your profits, because price action, whatever the time frame is, it's going to follow order flow. It's going to print order flow with different patterns like higher highs and higher lows. If you are able to navigate your trading through those higher highs and higher lows, I think like it will help a lot of traders.
Yeah.
Just simply like up at the top, like 3646, that was a higher high, and along with the higher high, you need to have a narrative behind it, like that higher high happened, and at the same time price action took out the equal highs or London highs. That could be a top. Now we can expect a drop, and when it dropped to the downside 3637, that was a low. And if you look at the left hand side, even on the left hand side, you're going to see a order block formation on the 1 minute.
Yeah.
There's a break of structure and a push up. So if you are seeing rejections at the bottom, that's a point like you cut the trade. You don't hope trade. You don't think like, hey, the 15 minute it's impulsively bearish. The next 15 minute gonna open and it's gonna drop more. That's not gonna happen. Like the market, I would say like the market doesn't give a fuck about your emotions. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't care about your expectations. It's just gonna print the order flow, and you have to move along with the candles, the way the
Yeah.
candles are moving.
Yeah, exactly. Someone is asking me if I use fundamental analysis as part of my confluence. No, personally, I don't, because every time I used to, um, I was just late to the party, because at the end of the day, usually big fundamentals, they get priced in very, very quick, unless we're talking like interest rates and etc. But like CPI, if you think that you're gonna trade based off what CPI did, I don't think that that is reliable. But I would wonder what you, Rosa, do. Do you ever take into account fundamentals?
No, not really, because I only analyze a 1 minute time frame and I
Yeah,
don't move from there. So I don't actually analyze anything. I just
yeah,
sit down, see a few bars prior
yeah,
to when I'm sitting down, and that's it.
yeah. And let me guess, you well, with Rosa, she understands clearly that if it's fundamentals, like we need to be talking daily chart, because something big. Well, what I was going to say, let me guess, you don't trade CPI, NFP,
No, no, no,
FOMC, never, because that's
no.
when the big repricings come and you're just
Mm,
asking to be destroyed. Um,
mm,
because again, from what I heard already from Rosa, she understands pretty well that these sort of things, when you're trading the 1 minute, the fundamentals don't matter at all. It's pure price. And even hedge
yes.
funds will tell you that, by the way. Hedge funds that hate price action or hate technical analysis, they'll still tell you that even if it does work, it's not because of fundamentals. It's just pure
Mm.
patterns. So what about you, Kashif? Do you take into account fundamentals at all?
No, not really,
Yeah.
because we are day traders, 15-minute session traders. It's-
Yeah. Yeah. I like to say this. There's a lot of people that try to predict what the next quarter is going to do. Where's gold going to be in the next quarter? Where's NQ going to be in the next quarter? What about EU? What is the monthly candle going to do? I don't care, because I'm a day trader, meaning I care about what happens today. Like, I profit on what happens today, not what happens in the next week. Obviously, I can have a narrative behind what I think is going to happen throughout the whole week, but I only care about what happens on that specific day. So that is very important. And fundamentals is never really. I use fundamentals to not trade more than I use it to trade. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah,
And
here.
also, I'd like to add, when you're working on an M1 like I do, not paying attention to anything else other than the 1 minute chart, it's there's so fundamentals, as you say, it's not our thing. So I don't really pay attention. I don't mind. I stay out of the news, because what I'm trying to do here is to have a battle to trade against the worst traders, not the best ones. So I don't trade news for that reason, because there's institutionals there just positioning all the thousands and thousands lots that they have to put in the market or get out of the market. And that's why I don't trade the liquidity swaps you talk about in higher time frames, because everyone's seeing that, and this is another league. I am more like the, when you play, I don't know, football or basket with your friends. So I'm just trying to be better than my friends, not the not the whole community.
Yeah.
And that's why my shorts are very short, my trades are very short, trying to find volatility, but just right. So not very high impact moments where volatility is crazy, because what I do is take the money. I'm trying to get the money from people who don't know how to trade, and I only look for areas where I know most of retailers will panic, and they, for instance, they sell in masses, apart from more important people than retailers. But and that these are the points where I enter long, not because price is going up, but because people are selling out of fear. And that's why I only have to pay attention to one chart and one time frame.
Yeah. Yeah. And we can see that, for example, there's people that say, oh, no, the 1 minute doesn't work. We literally just called the move lower and the move higher on gold on the 1 minute.
Mm.
So when people say, oh, no, this doesn't work, or scalping doesn't work, or day trading doesn't work, it's like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Mm.
No idea. It's all like, everyone is saying it in the chat, which is like, it's all risk management and consistency, 100%. What I say, and I wonder if you all agree, but what I've thought about and I like to say is, trading is having a profitable edge and executing it for a long enough period of time. That's all that it is, because you can have a profitable edge in the next five trades being losing trades. The next 5 analysis we do here could be losing analysis, but it doesn't
Yep.
matter, because we know what we're doing. So at the end of a year, then we'll talk. At the end of 5 years, then we'll talk. That's what matters, really. And hedge funds know this a lot. And the reason why I threw shit at the guy that was like, oh, this is not valuable. It's like, listen, by understanding how the big money thinks, you understand how the industry works, and you understand how the analysis works. You understand how profitable traders do it, so you can apply the same things. It's like, what do prop firms do? Literally, prop firms, if you get a payout, they don't care, because they know that over a long enough period of time, they are going to be profitable, not specifically with you, but over time. It's what do they do? The same thing as traders, but flipped around. What I said was, you have an edge and you execute it for a long enough period of time. What do prop firms do? They have an edge and they execute it for a long enough period of time. That's
Exactly.
it. It's the same thing. That's why people like, let me see his name again. I hold grudges, by the way. I just want everyone to know in the chat that I hold grudges. So, for example, this Mr. Abi 111, just know that that's why you remain unprofitable, is because you don't understand that these things all tie into what profitable trading is. And if 2 call outs is not a good enough value, then hopefully you already left. But yeah, like, and by the way, someone is asking like if there was news and what is this candle? Don't forget, we are on the 1 minute chart. So like a big candle can look huge, but in reality, if you go to the 15 minute, it's like, oh, it's a little breakout, right? It doesn't require news to have a big candle like that. But yeah, this looks like it wants to continue moving higher. Let's see where to. I'll probably target this high now. This high and then this extreme.
Okay, I've closed 2 buy positions on gold. something was going on with my risk management, so that's why I haven't said anything before, just as a signal, because something's wrong, and I don't see how to fix it, but it's not working. So it opens the trade, but it doesn't manage the trade properly. So, okay, just a second. If I can show my screen for a second, bear with me.
Yes, sir. Let's get Rosa to share the screen.
I went into the buys like from where you marked, Kimmel.
Fuck yeah. And this is not valuable. Oh my god, that guy.
It was
That
a
guy
clean
not
market.
commenting anymore.
It was a good market structure shift from the bottom, but when you drawn the arrow, like it just gave confidence.
Yeah. What do you say about TPs? I recently met a trader who uses 1-to-1 and is very profitable. For months now, I've been hooked on having at least a 1-to-2. You don't need, and this is the thing. What is a mathematical edge? A mathematical edge is having a strike rate and a risk reward that together make you profitable. It's literally just a math equation. It's very, very simple. I can share that with you in the future. So Rosa is gonna explain her trades
Yeah,
now.
can you see these two
Yeah.
trades in here? Let me just delete the indicator so it'll be clear on the chart. And I plan just to open this trade in here, this one here. It's been like 19 points. And then I closed it down because the risk management tool I have didn't work. And then I had to open up another one that's 20 points, so nearly 40 points. But I was expecting the whole area. Anyway, I did open that one. And let me explain with the indicators on the screen. So I hope you can see both trades here, because the moment I'm adding that, it's not as clear as that. Anyway, so just a second. All right. So where was the nice point? Sweet point. Was that one? Let me check that one here. That was my initial entry point. But then the risk management tool didn't work. So I had to wait for another confirmation that happened here. So I never ran after a trade. If this trade was gone, I patiently wait for another confirmation, which was here. And then a third confirmation that was, here. Right? That was here. There. But I took it here. Something's going on with the risk management tool I use. Anyway, why did I want to take this one? It's pretty easy. You will know these are moving averages. These two, the 200 and 800, I don't have them here, but it doesn't matter. I use the moving averages to get out of the trades, not to get in. But what I see is I saw an attempt of moving lower, but I didn't. So price took, that's what I always wait for, here. And then in here, the moment I see the price is undecisive, I have to look carefully and watch for a pattern. And the pattern was confirmed with this bar here. Same thing happened here, same thing happened here, same pattern. And the pattern, it's not only a combination of a few candles, but it's also the way price hits or gets to that level. So now I'm pretty sure, or I would say, and I'm going to, my short is still open on the other account. So short still open, because I'm pretty sure price is coming back here to this exact level. When I say I'm sure, you will know it's a high probability level that I'm giving to you, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but it's a very high probability. Same with that level here. And another anchoring point. No, there's no more anchoring point. So if I get a reversal from this point to this area or this area during the live stream session, I will go, and then I will try to find my setup. And when the setup's ready, I will go for longs. So first long was here with this here. First, second, third. And then on the way back, because I'm pretty sure it's going back at some point, this level and this level are the two areas where people will start panicking, and it's more probable people start selling their buying positions, and then I'll go long. And it has nothing to do with FIBO levels. I only pay attention, as you see, the price on the candles. So yeah, it's 40 points is all I need, even 20 points. Sometimes I close my day, my personal account, with 20 points in my pocket. And it's more than enough. That's it. I only wanted to share that.
Yeah, that's sick. Someone is asking, what indicators do you use?
These are moving average. I usually have, not in this chart, but as you can see here, I usually have this is the 200 moving average and the 800, but I don't have it on that chart for maybe, I don't know, for whatever reason. So 200 and 800, because these are my exiting points. Same with the yellow ones and the blue ones are moving averages, a little bit tweaked by me. These are, I've done them myself because they're a bit tweaked. But regardless of that, they are not magic moving averages. You can use, I don't know, let's say 13. To be honest, that one, I have a 5 moving average, which I don't actually pay attention, so I'm going to delete it right now. So you could use the 13, 21, 22, 50, 48. It doesn't matter. Just pick random, honestly, random moving averages. But and the price, because the thing is, it's not the moving averages. The thing is what I see on the price, just to make sure the price is going to come back here. So this is where people should pay attention. What do I see on the price, and how many thousand hours I've spent to be pretty confident price is going to hit this level. If it doesn't, it's okay. But at some point, these unfilled anchoring points are going to be hit either today, tomorrow. And I'm not saying, of course, they are going to be hit because price is going down 1,000 points. No, I'm not. I'm just saying the moment they get hit, there will be some reaction. So it gets hit, price tries to go up again, and around here, gold will decide if either goes up or keeps going down. So these are the same moments of decision, so levels of decision, I would say, because they are unfilled anchoring points. And it's been like that. Kashif has been with me many live streams, and he knows how price reacts on these levels I'm giving you. So basically you can use 20, 21, 50. I like 21 exponential, 50 exponential, 200 exponential, 800 exponential. So let's say if my TP is here and I have 800 exponential right where the price is there, I close it down because I don't need to expect 3 more points. I don't mind. I'm fine with 20 points. You could have got, I don't know, 50. It's fine. It depends on how much do you risk per trade. I risked 1% on this trade. It's $1,000 and $1,000. Actually, how much money do you need per trade? That's it. So it's not about the money, it's about the precision you have to enter the trade. And that's why talking pips or points, to me, it doesn't make an impact. It doesn't make any difference. I don't mind. I just took this little movement. And by the way, the first one, not the second one, but the first one, I replicated by the same amount on my personal account. That's it. So everything works as Kimmel said it before. Anything works in trading. The only thing is you have to do it over and over and over, as many times as you need to do it just to master it. But M1 works, scalping works, intraday works, mean reversion works, anything works. And that's why I'm trying to show you here what I'm doing. And just now I'm expecting for these levels. First one is 3643.5, exactly this point. So let's see.
One thing I've been observing, Rosa, like you get into the trade, like let's say you're looking for a buy area, you get wick rejections, but you only get into the trade like after a candle breaks the previous candle high. Even if you look at the pattern in your current trades, it's
Before that
always
one, oh
uh
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
yeah, you wait for the 1 minute candle to break the previous 1 minute high as an
Oh,
extra confirmation that it's going.
that's for sure, of course, because I'm very momentum trader, so I need a very rapid trade just to perform. So that's why I'm expecting that, and that's why my stop loss was here, just a few points below the lower low, because I sometimes I have to try up to 4 times just to get in the right trade. But when I get it, it's it works. So yeah. And rejections, of course. I mean, you said rejections, and you see rejections here, right?
Yeah.
But within these two things that you've said, if you look at my entries over and over and over and you take snapshots, you will find some patterns. But not because I've created them, because gold is very predictable on these patterns, and they work over and over until someone says, "Hey, this lady must be over." Let's not do it anymore. But the same pattern, it's all over the chart, over and over.
Gold is right now, Kimmel, what do you think? Like daily candle, like right now, I think it's a point where it's just gonna drop hard or it's gonna go up. Daily candles bullish. It might fill the wick, but at this point, like there's a lot of confusion, I think.
Yeah, this is the point where on gold, in my mind, one of two things is going to happen. Either we continue impulsing higher, which I think is what's more likely, or we range. Even though we have FOMC on Wednesday, if I'm not, yeah, on Wednesday we have FOMC. So we either go back to all-time high before FOMC, or we actually just end up going back to range.
3600s.
So I wouldn't, to be fair, I wouldn't really call like 600s or something, just because I think that if we range, we would stick around that 3650 or 3620. Like I would say that is the range that gold stays in if it just stays within the range. So what about you? What's your thought? Because I'm a guy that if daily is just showing bullishness, I'm not gonna say it's going bearish. Like it's like putting myself in front of a moving train and saying, "Yep, I think it's stopping here." Like I don't like that.
Exactly. Like I also want the price section to be in a discounted zone. Like if I look on the 4 hour time frame, this whole area is a range, and right now we are trading at the top of the range.
Yeah.
So yep.
Do you want to share your screen and then I will share mine
Yep.
Yep,
and
all
also
yours.
do NQ.
Can you see the screen?
Not yet. We will have screen in now.
Mm.
Right. So like if I talk about the higher time frames in the 4 hour, Like this area is kind of like my support, 3620, and there's been multiple instances we rejected this with quick rejections. Even today, this drop and impulsive push back to the upside. Now, before forming, like, if the price section stays in the range, because even if it drops right now, it's going to maintain this level right here, 3615, 3620. That
Yeah.
would be an area like if I see a bullish candle, an order block formation, bearish candle, impulsive, engulfing bullish candle, that would be a good point to get into the buys. But right now, like if I look at the price section on the daily time frame, it's a point like where I wouldn't get into any trade, like because the reason a lot of traders they get trapped, they might be looking at this wick fill. They might think like the daily candle gonna fill the wick and it's gonna go up, right? Even if you look at the weekly, a lot of traders they might think weekly is bullish, it's just gonna continue pushing up and it's gonna fill. But h- that's how it doesn't work. Like the price section, it needs fuel to go to the level where you're expecting. So if I'm expecting gold to go to the all-time highs, I want to see a pullback. I want to see the price section going down, taking out the orders, taking out the fuel needed for it to run back up. Because right now, if you look at the move uh, from NY lows to NY highs, the move is already done. So at this point, like I think like I'm just trying to get into a buy at the top. Now you see like it's just rejecting this 3650. There's also psychological level in it trying to drop. However, if let's say right now, if I'm looking for buys, I'm looking for buys around this zone, 3637, 3640. Or maybe even like if the price action impulsively bullish, we might just tap this fair value gap right here and just continue the order flow, because look at the order flow, like it's just making higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high. Probably if you get a higher low, some rejections, market structure shift on the 1 minute, might just continue back up.
Would you, for example, in that scenario, would you set a trade now, or would you wait for the market to hit that level, provide you that lower time frame entry, and then enter?
I would
Or
wait for the market to tap into this fair value gap, because I don't like stick to a bias. For example, if I'm planning a buy trade from this fair value gap, I would want to see the price section coming into this fair value gap and rebound, show some strength that it's holding this fair value gap. Because a lot of the times, like if I'm planning a buy from this fair value gap, buy limit orders, there might be just impulsive bearish volume and it breaches this, takes out the liquidity below this London low and then goes up. So my trades, like I've marked my order blocks, fair value gap, and I want to see the price section holding those levels, holding those zones, like such as 1 minute candles starting to give me wick rejections, or like a slight market structure shift on the 1 minute. That's what gives me the confidence to get into the trade.
yeah. So I think by the way, this is very good, because I don't think I've talked with anyone that marks out an area and is like, yep, I'm just entering here. No, it's everyone is like, they tap what I call a higher time frame key level, and then they wait for the lower time frame confirmation to go in line with the higher time frame direction, and that's when they execute. So it's very, very clear to see the commonalities between trading of different people. I really, really
Mm.
like that.
for
So
for example, like if you simply look on those, is let's say if I was planning to get into a buy trade from this order block, when the price section it taps in, I'm not going to go blindly into the buys, because there's a 50% probability it might breach. So I want to see candles holding this level, I want to see rejections, because order blocks itself means unmitigated orders, pending orders that might just get mitigated. So this first rejection buys to the upside, price coming back to this, holding again, and then you see like there's a market structure shift right here, a mini market structure shift, and it was an impulsive one, that's where I would get into a buy. And remember, you draw the arrow right here,
Yeah.
buys here, and then opposing liquidity. So if it took out the internal liquidity right here, I would be targeting the opposing liquidity, which is this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna also share. Let's quickly break down NQ. NQ is looking beautiful. My God. Let me share. And let me quickly do this. Boom, boom, boom. And okay. So yeah, everything is good. So the weekly on NQ continues bullish. So we already know that we're never really looking for shorts in a bullish market. I've said this a million times. I don't want to put myself in front of a moving train. It's like, no, it's gonna stop here. It's gonna stop here. It's gonna stop here. No, I'm always looking for continuation in the market until I am proven wrong. Because when I'm proven wrong, I just let the market do its thing. And when it proves me right again, which was once we swept this low, then I'm looking for the highs. Now, for today, I think it's pretty clear where the market wants to go. We came back towards the 4-hour fair value gap right here. And we started to form bullishness from here. Unfortunately, this didn't happen in our session, which is going to be in 20 minutes time or 18 minutes time. It happened before the session, but that's fine because there's always ways to execute when the market has already moved. So my idea was I would expect the market to come back towards this 15-minute order block, meaning this 15-minute move to the downside. And once we start to move higher, there's two possibilities. One, the market just moves higher. And if that's the case, I'm even likely to not trade today for one single reason, which is we have a very strong impulse. And because we have a very strong impulse, I believe that the probability of, given the fact that it's FOMC, the market still continuing to move and move and move and move becomes a little bit lower. But if we have a manipulation, so market opens and we manipulate towards the order block, I don't really care if we're going to react out of here or here or here. I'm just trying to see in this high time frame key level, where will we start to react from? And I will trade based off where we react from. So in this case, market starts to move higher, I will be starting to enter in continuation trades. Once, for example, let's say market opens up, quickly move lower, we have a reversal, and on the 1 minute we start forming bullish order flow. I'm just going to enter in the continuation trades right there. There's always the chance that in the next 15 minutes we move higher, and if that's the case, this order block is likely going to be where I would be looking for the first reaction from. If we start reacting out of this order block, then I would be looking for the longs. And then it's, if we really just move higher, I'm likely just calling it a day because of the possibility of, okay, are we going to move 300, 500, 700 handles on FOMC week before FOMC, that is on Wednesday? Maybe yes, maybe not, but I don't really want to be on that side of probability. So two options: we move higher, and then afterwards we pull back towards this order block, and this is where I'm going to be looking for trades. Or we open up, we quickly come back to the 15-minute order block, and from here we start forming bullish order flow, and I'll also execute on continuations. On both of those options, I do want to see manipulation towards one of these two levels, which is the 5-minute or the 15-minute, and then lower time frame confirmation. If we close at any point very bearish on the 15-minute, I will be looking for a 5-minute reversal before entering, just because if we have a very strong reversal on the 15-minute, let's say the 15-minute comes down and it closes all the way down here, this is going to be looking very bearish. And so the 1 minute, the 5-minute, the 15-minute, they're all going to be against us if this happens. So I would rather see the 5-minute reverse. So now the 15-minute is already showing signs of bullishness. The 5-minute is already showing bullishness. The 1 minute is definitely already showing bullishness, right? So if we have any strong bearish close on the 15-minute or 1 hour, I will be looking for a 5-minute reversal. So that's the breakdown for today. So yeah, I don't know if anyone has any questions from the chat. We sell from here. Again, anyone that tells me to sell, like, I know that you've been selling this, and 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 this. And while you're all the time losing, I literally have a 85% strike rate over the last, I think, 3 weeks. So I don't know what you're saying, but I disagree. Again, anything works. I know that people have been making money on this move lower, but guess what? The bulls always come back. Boom, when this was this was minus 0.5. This is break even. So, like, I disagree with any sort of short bias here. So yeah, like, everyone, this is the thing. A lot of people, when they are trading, they want to be the ones that catch the top. Let me tell you, the people that you see catching the top on social media, they are not showing you all of the losses they've taken until they've taken the win. So by the way, and I'm not joking when I say this. Every time I see those people saying, "Oh, I just catch the top on fucking gold or NQ," I'm like, sure. I know that person is unprofitable just because I know that they've taken so many losses that they're not saying. So, like, once you get more time into trading, you'll just see how people try to pretend so many things. So I don't know if you've had experience with this, Rosa and Kashif, where you've seen people posting on social media and you're like, yeah, sure. What about you show all of the other losing trades you've taken?
Exactly.
It's
There's no such thing as perfection in trading.
So let's do this. Breakdown. Okay, so on gold, again, what I was saying on gold as I was talking with Kashif was that right now, weekly, like, this is the thing. Would I ever short this? Hell no. Why would I put my face in front of a train? Like, no, you're stopping here. Like, who am I? God? Like, no, I'm not. So, like, obviously, when you look at even the 4 hour still looks bullish. Like, this looks beautiful to continue moving higher. 1 hour also same thing. It's looking similar to here, where the lows always held. Look, low held, low held, low held, low held, and then we move to the upside. And the same thing is here, even though, well, low held on this move to the downside. So now you would expect the continuation higher. That's why, like, I would not really think about shorting this. And by the way, I know this one person that says that it has a 100% strike rate. First of all, they don't. Second, that person is also short on gold from 2,600. Okay, so they're short from here on gold. So it's like, yeah, you have a 0.0001 risk to reward. Obviously, you have a high strike rate because you're dumb. So, yeah. It's like those people that say that they have a high strike rate, what they're likely telling you is, I don't like taking losses, so I don't use stop losses. So,
Great. Good luck.
I've been here way too long on social media to know exactly what people do. It's wild. Or I've talked with those people that, like, have those sniper entries that and then post the videos on social media of, like, those sniper entries. Oh my god, this worked out. And I talk with them and they're like, I would never trade live. And let's say you charge $10,000. Would you trade live? No. Yeah, I know exactly why not. Like,
I would.
Exactly.
Can I charge that?
Pay me 10 grand, I will trade live in front of you. But that person that says no, I'm like, yeah, I know you're full of shit. So Someone is asking Rosa, but he's spammed. You know what, Harsh? I'm gonna be harsh on you. I'm not gonna ask Rosa the question. I don't trade Monday. Just wait to see how price closed. But it's not gonna be Harsh asking. I'm gonna ask Rosa. It's not because of you, Harsh, because you should not spam. What was your biggest challenge in general in trading?
My biggest
You talked a
challenge,
lot about
like
many different challenges as you were running up the account. So there's
I got to a point when it was difficult for me to get up from bed and to keep trading. And that's my reality every single day, because you put money on stake, saved money. So my biggest challenge is I leave my work in the city of London, well paid, good salary, good life, everything. London's very expensive, by the way. And I quit everything because I'm going to be a millionaire in 3 months, because I'm going to be a trader. How do you overcome um, shame of yourself for not making it possible in 3 months? Because I followed all this internet media thing like trading's easy, you're going to be rich, follow my signals, so on and so forth. How do you overcome family, loved ones telling you stop being that silly and get another proper job, go back and beg for your old job? How did you overcome that? And you keep saying or thinking, I'll make it. Just give me some time. I made a massive mistake, but I'll make it. I'll get there. How do you overcome all the days you have been studying and demo and doing back test for 16 hours a day, literally, just sleeping a few hours and not going out with anyone, not having social life because I was quite ashamed of not getting there? How do you become that? Because I didn't have a plan B. That was my plan A. That's why I quit my job. Silly thing to do, actually. And so there's many challenges in trading. What about me losing today 3,000 euros from my account? How do you overcome to that? Tomorrow I have to sit down. I didn't lose that today, but I've lost that many other days from my personal account. How do you overcome that? Because I have to sit down tomorrow and do again what I know what to do. So I have to keep trading. I have to keep opening my restaurant, my business, even if I don't have a single client and I keep losing money. How do you overcome? Honestly, in my worst moments, what I do is I go back and check my strategy and check the back test I did for my strategy, a very thorough back test. And then I think I've done it right. This is a proper back test. It'll work again. So sit down and do what you have, what you know, what you have to do. Just do it again and again. So it's the only thing I know on overcoming challenges, but not only in trading, in life.
yeah.
How many times you grow older and your salary doesn't grow older with you every month, every year? You're not upset for that? Because I am. I've been very upset when every single year I wouldn't get a higher payout. That was a loss to me. That was a thing on my career. How I become a better person, a better worker, a better individual? And how do you overcome? You have failures in trading and in life. I think you fail more in life than in trading. But in trading, you reflect your misery on a daily bias. So on a daily, day on day, you see how lame you are. In life, you never accept it. It's very difficult to accept you're not good enough. But in trading, you see it in 30 minutes. So I try to find the workaround the same way I do it on my personal life. Every single year before being a trader, I would ask myself, will I get a salary increase this year? And then I asked my manager, no, you won't. Why? Blah, blah, blah. No, be specific. How lame am I? In a scale 1 to 10, 8. Okay, how do I improve that? Doing this. And then I would do it. And I would came back to my manager 6 months later. And then I ask for a raise. Say, you said that, I've improved that. I want that raise. And then I got raises twice every year for the last 4 years I was working in the city. So how different is that from trading? It's the same, but you have to accept what you're not good at, and that's it. So keep working and keep doing what you are doing right, but be truth to yourself. Stop saying it's my boss's fault, it's someone else's, it's the broker, it's the prop firm, it's the shoes I'm wearing to play football. That's why I don't do it properly. No, it's because you're lame. You have to improve yourself, not the boots you're using or your prop firm. Oh, I'm going to change prop firms because that one doesn't matter. Just do the right thing. And if I'm consistent, sometimes I say the people I do the mentorship with, I say, do the right thing. And if the prop firm won't pay you when you ask for a withdrawal, that's a rich person problems. Because if you have been able to ask for a withdrawal, it's because you have been consistent, you have been profitable. Fuck, I'm sorry for the word, but do the same with another prop firm. Is that a real problem? It is not. You have wasted a little bit of time being consistent for that prop firm. So stop bullishing yourself and say, that's a rich person problem. Oh, they didn't pay me 2,000 euros, $2,000. What? Thank you. Because now I can change the prop firm and try to make $4,000. Because I've done it once, I can do it twice. So it's always just try to improve from within and just leave the context. That's something my dad taught me every time I went home and say, oh, I studied a lot, Dad, but I just had a 5 out of 10 in an exam. And the teacher, she doesn't like me at all. And that's why I have a 4, but I'm so good at. And my dad told me, come on, Rosa, stop saying these silly and stupid things. Next time you study for a 10 instead for a 5. You study for a 10, and even if the teacher doesn't like you, she doesn't have any more option than giving you an 8, but not a 4. Done. Fixed. So I learned that from a very young age, and that's the way I face off challenges not in trading, in life, just in general.
Yeah, and I like to always say that, especially in trading, in almost mainly in trading, with a 9 to 5, it's more predictable. And by the way, we're still going to all of the targets that we mentioned before. So like for people that are like, oh, analysis, I'll get to that very soon. We've basically called 4 different moves this stream already. Like with trading, you're never gonna get a 1-to-1 on work and money. Like for years and years and years, and you think like, oh yeah, this is like what, 3 months? No, it's like year 1, year 2, year 3, boom, year 4, and even then, only year 5 do you really start to get money that you're gonna be like, God, what? I'm making like $10,000 an hour. That is insane. And yeah, that's because over the last 5 years, you've been putting the work in. So that's something to keep in mind. It takes time for your outcome to, like, everyone wants input output, because that's what you get on a 9 to 5. You work these hours, you make this amount of money, and then on while when you're working is you put in these hours. Well, in trading, it's you put these hours, you don't get any outcome for 5 years. That's literally it. And once again,
That's literally
this is incredibly important because people don't understand that we're literally talking everything we've talked about is foundations of trading. Not only that, Kashif took a short in front of all of you. Rosa took a long in front of all of you. She took a win. Everyone took a win here. And now someone is saying, and I want to shout out. Oh, I always want to shout out people that are stupid in the chat. So we had Steve saying, "Oh, this is not good. Just go and check the charts." Guess what? Already did that multiple times. This is a 2-hour long stream, and you're like, "Why are you not breaking down the charts for fucking 2.5 hours?" And then we had someone responding saying, it was Mulvey saying, "I agree with Steve." Guess what? Mulvey was the guy that was like, "Guys, should we buy or sell? Should we buy or sell? Should we buy or sell?" He said that 5 different times. 5 times in the chat. I would rather hide you from if you were on my channel, I would hide you from the chat forever. Just want you guys to know. It's stupid comments. I would love to be able to have the power to just hide you guys. I would love to. You don't have to be here. But then you would also miss the analysis from Kashif, from Rosa, from myself. You would miss all of that. So, hey, take what you get. Don't be greedy. That's why you're probably still unprofitable. You're too greedy. There you go. That's my rant. I wanted to get this one out. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Oh my God, yeah.
But you're right, to be honest. We are giving like Kashif, yourself, myself, real trades and real analysis based on in the live during the live stream. And some people take advantage and take notes of what we're saying, and then even they can find what style suits them better. So to start learning from these traders, from Kashif, from yourself, from me, even if they like, because Kashif, uh, he's been with me on a few live streams, and he already have seen a few patterns because my setup is so simple. The point is how much time did I get? Did I spend in front of the charts to see that as a repeatable pattern? But it's only paying attention to what some profitable traders say and taking notes and learn from them, even if it doesn't resemble. For instance, I would never analyze the way you do, but still I learn things. I say, oh, that's interesting. And I have some notes in here just to make sure I look at them later, because you say very, very interesting things, even if your way of trading is very different from mine. So yeah, I would say people in the chat just take advantage of having that many traders by your side, and making and taking real trades. So this is not a demo. I mean, it's not something that I show on my phone or things like that. This we've entered here, and I show you my trades on MP5, so it's fine.
Like on Friday, I spent no, I'm not joking. On Friday, I spent a total of 2 hours on stream, and during those 2 hours, for the whole time, I was telling everyone, NQ is going to all-time high. I was saying this on stream for the whole time. NQ is going to all-time high. On Friday, NQ went to all-time high. I made $11,000 in front of everyone in my community. Obviously, it was after the stream. It was 20 or 30 minutes after the stream. But I literally forecasted every single one of these things. Every single one of these things. And people are still able to come into this stream in general. Like I've seen, I always like to come and check the trade in streams. And everyone is always talking about charts. Everyone is always talking about charts. Maybe they're not telling you buy or sell right now, but they're telling you this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. This is how I execute. So instead of looking for a buy and a sell, which is what everyone wants, hey, buy or sell, Mulvey, buy or sell, buy or sell, buy or sell. No, you learn. And learning comes from the yapping. In 2 hours, do you expect us not to yap? What, are we gonna be trading for 2 hours? We're profitable traders. We're not trading for 2 hours. You saw Kashif's trade. Let's check. Let's check the charts ourselves. Kashif's trade was
Yeah.
33 minutes long.
Yeah. Come on.
So let's say he was trading the whole time. He would now have to be yapping for 90 minutes. So it would be 1 minute of taking the trade, 35 minutes of just staring at the screens like this, and then 90 minutes of yapping. There you go. That's trading for you. You guys want to 100% trading. I'm not gonna say what I just want. I had to limit myself on what I wanted to say right now, but like it's just entitlement. It's just entitlement, because we even analyze a lot right now. So, and you already know when we're coming into the 2 hour mark, because I we start personally. I start losing patience after 2 hours.
Everyone on a live stream is very difficult.
Trading is gonna start cutting me off at 1 hour. It's like, okay, he hasn't called down anyone out on, on the comments just yet. Oh my god. But yeah, on NQ, we've had the move to the downside, to the upside. Sorry. So this is market open. We've had the move to the upside. Now this is the point where you just have to wait. I mentioned how if we just have the move up, I would wait for the pullback towards the order block. There's always the chance that it just goes up, sure. But if that's the case, then hey, the entry model didn't appear, so therefore I don't enter. So at this point, this is where I'm mainly sidelined. I'll basically, I forgot to even mention FX. On the market breakdown this weekend, basically I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
EU looking bullish, GU looking bullish, and that was perfect play out. So it's all just a framework of execution. The same way I execute on NQ, I execute on FX. The same way I execute on FX, I execute on NQ. Obviously, they have slight tweaks. You're still on the September contract. Yeah, that's true. When does it? Well, we can do this in front of everyone. I think this is important.
Yeah, volume was very similar, I think, this morning when I checked.
Yeah, I like to come to bar chart and I check the NASDAQ and I just check volume between each. And you can see the September one right now, like they're the same as Rosa just said. The volume is very similar. So right now I would still stay on the September one, and probably by the end of the week, that's where I would be switching fully over. When the volume on the December one becomes larger than the September one, that's when I would switch. And now people would be like, yapping again. And it's like, oh, sorry, we just mentioned one of the most important things of futures trading.
And this Friday is closing. I mean, DAX closing contracts rollover.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
So
let's do this. We have order block. It looks like we have the impulse higher. But yeah, you said contract closes on, it says here. Yeah, it's on Friday.
at least DAX rollover, it's
Yeah.
a contract.
It's same thing on NQ.
Closing.
Okay, my god, the NQ is so beautiful. I love NQ, my god. If I could trade, okay, question. If you could trade one pair for the rest of your life, what would it be, Rosa? Would it be gold?
One pair? Yes, gold or NASDAQ.
Okay. What about you, Kashif?
1000% gold.
Goddamn, you guys are crazy. I just like NASDAQ. Oh my god. But yeah, I know, like, people crush it on gold. I think, by the way, I become just like the chat on when I'm trading gold. I just get way too greedy. There's a slight this right there. I just get way too greedy on gold. That's why, like, I always make money, and I've tried a couple of account flips, and I've flipped maybe 70% of them, and it's been on gold because it's so volatile. But
It
I don't know.
is.
It's again, I just get more greedy. So Ruben said gold. What about you guys in the chat? We have five more minutes here. What would you trade if you had to trade only one for the rest of your life? Ruben doesn't like NASDAQ. God dang. Because you know what happened to me? I don't know for how long you guys have been trading, Rosa. Rosa, how long have you been trading?
Around 9 years
God
already.
damn, that is a lot of trading experience. God damn.
Because 8 of these years have been on a personal account, so it's only 1 year and a few months on
God
prop firm.
damn,
So
Rosa, you're
yeah,
a legend. Oh my god.
no,
What about you, Kashif?
It's been over 10 years.
What?
Yeah, like I was in the stock market before, but in Forex, like you can say 5 years, over 5 years.
That is wild. That is wild. So we have a couple of answers: NAS, gold, S&P, gold, gold, NQ, NQ, NQ. It's pretty much between NQ. We have a little bit of FX, EU, Marcion, EU, dollar, Japanese yen. God damn. Like for me, I think what happened with gold is I started trading in 2019, so coming up to over 6 years now. And I just caught a like huge range on gold. So my mind was like, oh, gold never leaves 2000. Like literally, this is literally what I was always thinking. It's like, no, gold is always in this big range, so I'm not trading it. Um, so I think that's why, like, even now when it's impulsing, I'm like, what the fuck? I've never even processed this in my mind. So that's quite interesting. What stocks did you use to trade, Kashif, mainly?
I traded local stock market in Pakistan, and then I also tried trading US stock markets, but you need to have like a big capital trading US
Yeah,
stock market, because
25K.
there's a PDT rule, like
Yeah,
rollover. Like if you have account capital
mm,
under 25,000, you close a trade, like you need to wait two days for your money to be back. So then I stopped and moved to Forex.
yeah,
Pattern day trading rule, I think you call that.
yeah. I think that still exists in the
Yes, it
US.
does it. Webull,
Yeah,
Robinhood, all the brokers, they have it.
yeah. Okay. Uh, Trading goals since, yeah. Let me know for last question to the chat. How long have you guys been trading? How long have you guys been trading? I'd love to know that. NQ right now is on this staircase up. What I would say with the staircase is that there's always a chance. The reason why, for example, I wouldn't be looking for a trade here is because there's always a chance that we have the strong move lower. NQ loves to do that, and then have the real move. So if I want to enter from here, what I would do is I would wait for the confirmation that this is holding, and then I would enter. While a lot of people like here would probably already be putting their trades, I would wait for confirmation. I just prefer it that way. Um, and yeah, we have 50 years, 3 years, 1.5 years, 2 years, 5 years, 1.5, 6 months, 1.5. Fair enough. 1.55, 6 months. Nice. Like now, I have to say, well, Kashif and Rosa have both been trading for longer than myself. Is trading now much easier or much harder than when you started? We'll leave it off with this one. Is it much easier because of all the resources? They just watched us analyze the charts and yap a little bit for 2 hours. Did you ever have that when you first started?
I would say predicting the patterns, they're very easy. uh Psychologically, I would say, like you need to be keep improving every time, because psychology is dynamic. Like it doesn't it's not static, that you spent 10 years and you're psychologically strong. Like you need to be in a balance, like you need to be in a good routine, good mood. You need to be have a proper sleep, proper diet pattern. Only then, like, you can have a better psychology. So predicting the patterns easy, but like the psychology part, like you always have to be putting efforts to be in
Yeah.
good shape.
Yeah. What about you, Rosa? Was it easier when you started or harder?
It was harder, but just because I didn't know what I know nowadays. So I find it easier in like trading in general, but sometimes it's hard because the more I learn or the more I know, the more I hesitate. Like, what if I am not able to trade tomorrow? What if I don't know, break an arm? What's going to happen with my life? I don't want to be like 70 years old and keep trading like dynamically, like I'm doing now. What if I don't interpret the market in a week's time, like I'm doing it now, and I'm not profitable anymore? So I have more fear, or fear hits me harder than when I was ignorant in trading.
Yeah. Yeah, that is yeah, that I can imagine that for sure. But yeah, gentlemen and gentle women, we've been here for 2 hours. Great talking with all of you, with most of you, and great to talk with Rosa and Kashif, people with so much experience in the market. It's a blessing to be able to have their analysis every single week. So subscribe to Tradin if you haven't so far. With that, thank you everyone. We will see us in the next live stream. Peace.
See you
Thank you
soon.
guys. Thank
Have
you.
fun.
Thank you,
Bye
Kimmel.
bye.
Thank you, Rosa. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you.
Likewise. You too. Bye.